Hey chap, change the stream name messed up. How do? Quentin. How do? Probably a mix of lighting, there's a few things I'm curious about in Ziblenders. If you guys have heard of Shampazone before, he's got some pretty awesome tutorials. He was doing like put up a part of his tutorial up online, where he's like doing instead of doing sub D or pro boolean to ZBrush, he uses I forgot what it's called now. The requad in Blender. So I want to do a prop in the future, but using that video like a simple DIY prop. But yeah, that workflow is quite good because sub D modeling you kind of lock yourself into like doing these sort of control edge loops, but none of that. You can have full triangles and everything, right? And then I think he does a remesh, then he does something else like a smooth something. It can be quite taxing on the PC apparently. So I want to give that a try at some point, and then obviously keep prepping for April's Patreon, which will be the second part of this. I was thinking about what I want to do with this scene. I think I'm going to just strip out everything for the Patreon. Hey, Astro AT, and just start lighting it from scratch. Because I think on the last Patreon video we were leaving bits and pieces. So let's just delete this out, and we'll go from there. Yeah, how's everyone's Thursday going? You hear me all good? Microphone all right? I've been messing with it recently for the latest video. Congrats, Astro, on your posting your work. It looks really cool. What's next, Astro? What's the next thing we're doing? You getting into the world of baked, or do a baked scene, or stick into the world of dynamic? And I'm just using Light Mixer to get rid of every single light out of every single blueprint. Light Mixer is a lifesaver. You see every single light, and you can disable folders as well just to get the lights. It's really good. Usually put it on second monitor, but something baked. So you're gonna have to find a scene that's got light maps on. There's definitely some out there for sure. You're going to use CPU or GPU light mask? What are you thinking? The light mixer now does not see any lights, which means 0 lights exist. Except for like skylight. I don't think light mixer picks up skylight. Remind myself. It's been a while. Yeah. Yep. Okay, cool. Well, it depends, because I'll get into this stuff in my video, right? But we can talk about it now. Now, I'm going to be using GPU Lightmass for this, for sure. However, I will say GPU Lightmass. Now, let me just, before I eat my words, let me just test this first. It's Thursday, so yeah, a new video would have released today. Go give that a check out. Finished that one a few days ago. A scripted video, nice change from the live videos. Yeah, talking about. Oh, get away! Be gone. Talking about art tests, specifically Naughty Dog one. Now here's the thing, right? I can talk to you about GPU and CPU lightness and give you a spoiler for because I'm going to talk about this in the April Patreon video. But it depends on a lot of things. The GPU and the CPU, but also GPU lightmass, yeah, it's quicker, less options. However, it is in some aspects it's worse. And I'll show you some things of that in a minute. While that's baking. What was he doing? I haven't opened Blender in so long. I was doing pretty well with it early in the year. Now I've forgotten most of it. Substantially. But yeah, I'll be following some Champa Zone stuff to learn this. I say new, but this remesh workflow. But I enjoy SubD, but yeah, SubD can be painful in some ways. All right, so here's the first thing, right? With CPU Lightmass, you control the bounce lighting. So I've put indirect lighting intensity on 20. And what it's doing is it's bouncing that light around a ton which is really good for physically based lighting because you don't have to put all these fake point lights to do bounce. Now, here's the thing, right? If I bake this now with GPU light mask, and I just do a quick bake. Excuse it. So if I do a quick bake, that indirect bounce is on 20, so we haven't changed anything. And yeah, the chamfer zone stuff I'm talking about. If you're not sure who chamfer zone is, he's the man. He's amazing. So he recently released part of his HoloSite tutorial online, and this remesh workflow. That's what I want to. I like just learn the text of that and apply it to a prop. I want to make some sort of prop this year to get back into 3D. I know I was doing architectural stuff, but I want to make a nice little high poly prop. So we'll be doing that method. So look at that. When you use GPU light mask, this setting here doesn't work. Indirect lighting intensity doesn't work. So you can't control the bounce. GPU light mask tries to figure out a bounce by default, but you can't control it. So the problem is that's where one thing of CPU light mask is superior. And there's lots of pros and cons, but I'll save most of it for the Patreon video. But yeah, that's one of the things. So when you use GPU light mask, you have to use your key light, and then what you have to do is you have to fake a bounce with a point light on like a low value, high attenuation, and sort of space them out evenly. You don't want to put too many. You want to try and keep 1 or 2 per room. But you have to do that. And sometimes you can disable shadows on it as well if you want. It's up to you. The intensity is so low anyway that it doesn't matter. But you would do something like that, right? So if I bake that again, you probably get a bit more bounce going around the scene. So that is one thing, right? You don't have to use as many lights with CPU light mask, which is more physically accurate. So that's something to bear in mind. GPU is faster, but it's visually it's a little bit better. CPU is also a little bit better in some ways. It's not definitive, but yeah, that's a big one. So you have to do this sort of workflow, which isn't too bad, right? I don't recommend spamming 10 point lights per room to fake bounce. That's not necessary, but 1 or 2 point lights to imagine it bouncing from that key light. Whereas on CPU light mask, you don't have to do that. You just up the bounce like it's Lumen, and it'll bake it in. So these are things you need to consider as well. Now, for me, CPU light mask is better, but the speed is for portfolio work, and the speed GPU light mask for sure. I'll use either. I'm easy. I'm an easy chap. So if we bake that, let it update. So now we've got more bounce from that. So that's the sort of combination of technique you use versus having that option work, which this doesn't work in GPU. That'll be 2 Caprice pictures, Astro, for that knowledge. 2 sleepy Caprice pictures. Hey Victor, don't forget the feedback thread is up, folks, as well. On the Discord, we'll have a look at the work in a little bit. But yeah, that is one of the main differences. All right, so scene is dark, complete black, a little bit of bounce from the emissives, which is good. So what I would do now is like what we'll do in the Patreon video is we'll lay down lights that are block out lights. We'll call this level 1. So we spoke about L0, L1 for environment art, right? You can do the same thing with lighting. L0, L1, L2. I'm going to turn off the volumetric fog on these, even though it will be baked. So L0 would be just roughly lighting the space with some spaced out point lights. Check the chat. Hey, Elliot, just check what you did the light bake. When I try baking things down, I can't see any of the end results. Do you have any ideas? So you bake something, you don't see anything. Well, do you have light maps, right? So if you hit Alt 0, you should see a UV checker that that you've made or the environment artists have made. This obviously the environment artists made it for this scene. I've set them all to green, but it'll be a mix of blue and vice versa. But you need light maps in order to bake. So if you have those and you don't see the result, then I'm not too sure. It could be a plethora of things. But yeah, firstly check that you got light maps. Two Caprice pictures. I have to check those out in a little bit. Good old Capri. So yeah, we'll just go through the level and place some lights, put them in their correct folder. And I'll obviously go into much more depth when we do the proper thing. But you want to work in a way, imagine you've got lots of levels to light and you want a methodical way with the bigger picture. You can also generate light map UVs in Unreal, but you got to make sure the scene's set up for it, right? With static meshes and all that jazz. Move these into the relevant folder. Yeah, how's your guys' Thursday going then? Hopefully good. Did I fold this middle row? Can move all these now since we don't need them. Also, if you're baking, Philip, I hope I got your name right. Philip Paparia. Make sure this little light bulb is on. That will make sure that the baked data goes into this light scenario. If you don't have that on, it will bake into any of the other sub levels you have, which you don't want. That's bad. Very, very bad. Yeah, I think this year I want to make at least one prop. High to low poly. It's been a long time. I've made modular stuff, like of course, right? But a nice high to low poly. We're gonna hand plane and learn some of that stuff as well. And not do it in sub D, not do it in the comfort zone, right? Do it in this new workflow with booleans. I say new for me. I'm always making walls and shit. That's a nice tip, no problem. Lighting scenarios let you swap lighting scenarios with baked data so you can have multiple ones. Hey, Legend Leah sent me. Hey, Psychomantis. Where did that goblin send you from, huh? Cool, let's do a bake. That's what we call L0 lighting. That's all you need for L0, right? You need to be able to see. Your level designers will love you. Again, think that you've got loads of levels you've got to get through. You've got to see the bigger picture. Let's bake that. I always click no to this because it will mess up your light map UVs usually. So beyond extent. Oh, cool. Ugh. I assume you're doing the team challenge. How's that going? He's awesome. It's all right. You're safe here. You're safe here. You can tell the truth. Don't be. Nah, she's pretty cool. But yeah, I need something that will be quite charming to make and rustic. I have a pure ref somewhere, but I think to get back into Blender proper, we'll probably end up. Yeah. We'll make like an old rustic version of one of these. I think this will be a good opportunity to do the remesh workflow and not use sub-D modeling. And we'll make all the little parts of it as well. So that'll be our long-term project that we start learning Blender back with. So good. It'll teach us the Boolean stuff, the remesh. We can do this stuff. Like doing this stuff with sub-D would, it's doable, sure, but it's all the little things are a pain. But with the remesh, you just model it. Doesn't matter if you got triangles or anything, right? And you just remesh. So that'll probably what we learn Blender proper with, and then we'll get a license for Substance Painter for a month and do some textures for it and all that jazz. Build reflections, and that's it. That's our L0, right? That's all you need. Visibility. So we'll actually save this. So when we do the proper Patreon one, scene lighting L0. And then always make sure to update redirectors whenever you change a name, or things can go wonky. You can tell us everything you're safe here. Exactly, Psychomantis. We actually have donation goals here. We usually put donation goals up, and for $1, we mute Leah on our Patreon Discord. I think she has a gun pointed. Yeah, she destroys everything with Houdini. Yeah, you're doing environments now. Well, we got that medieval house, which is a very long-term thing, but I want to not do a prop, right? High to low poly prop, and use the remesh workflow instead of doing subdivision modeling. Because I've done sub-D for years, and it's you can lose a lot of time just getting the wireframe right. So we'll do a prop this year. We'll probably do it on stream. Yeah, I wish you guys best of luck with the challenge. It's pretty cool stuff. Can I wait to see it completed? You worked on 007. That's pretty. I've never had anyone tell me working on specifically 007 Legends was cool. I thought it was cool. I was proud of it no matter what, right? It was my first proper game in the industry. But that game, come on, man. I'm proud of all games I work on because, you can't be too serious in life. But yeah, if we take it for what it is, right? 007 Legends. It was yeah. Oh, 45. The funny thing is, the one they did before this, the same studio, right? They did the GoldenEye remake, and no, what was it called? And that was pretty good, That was a 72. I joined after that, but I had a lot of fun on it. I mean, it was my first game. I've actually got it framed. I haven't got it framed yet, but I've got the case somewhere. So yeah, I met a lot of cool people on that project as well. So this 007 Legends one's funny, right? So for anyone that doesn't know, 007 Legends is basically Daniel Craig gets shot on the top of a train, and he has flashbacks through all the James Bond films from various actors. And but it's him. He's the James Bond in all those films. So the whole game is like you go through all the different films. Let me see if I can get this up. Yeah, so this is the start of the game. So I think this is from one of the movies where she tries to shoot the badge guy, but hits Daniel Craig, um, and then he falls off and he gets a concussion or whatever, and that's when he relives all the films. So like Die Another Day, GoldenEye, the one with Jaws, the one with the dwarf, the metal hat. So first mission. Oh, he's got chapters. So yeah, I didn't do this one. This was Goldfinger. Now it's important to note, right? Eurocom at the time, before they closed, Eurocom was going since the 80s. They worked on the Hercules PS1 game. They worked on the Pirates of the Caribbean games, a lot of movie games. There's some serious experience there. Just a shame what happened, really. But this was back in 2012. Most of the people I remember that were working at that studio, it's a pretty big studio. They've obviously spread out everywhere now, but a lot of them that were local, they now work on the Dead Island games over in Nottingham. Yeah, no PBR back then. We had to pack our specular maps and get rid of, I think, the green channel. So all the specular maps were orange, but they rendered properly in the engine. On Her Majesty's Secret Service, I don't think I've seen that one. License to Kill. Yeah, Die Another Day. So the second half of Die Another Day. I also did some Moonraker stuff as well. Every boss fight was the same. It's left and right trigger. Wah! Every boss was exactly the same. Hold on, I can give you guys audio. Hold on. Let me mute my music. You guys hear that? Is that volume okay for you? Let me know. It looks okay on OBS, but just let me know if that's good volume for you. Press LT. Press RT. I had fun working on this. It was only like a year of my time, but I was a junior. It was my first job. And, but yeah, as we go through the video, all the boss fights are the same. We'll skip forward a bit. So obviously, I worked. So one of the main things I worked on was Die Another Day, the plane level. So we'll skip a bit forward to where the plane starts. Yeah. Okay. So. Oh, fun asset. Fun asset. God. Fun fact. Was anyone familiar with? It's quite an old school studio, right? They're in the UK. It was a studio called Bizarre Creations. They were a really, really popular game studio back in the early 2000s up to like the 2011 era. But they worked on like Project Gotham Racing. They worked on Blur. I've done a few videos on them in regards to their art test and also the studio, right? But before they closed down, they did a James Bond game. I think it was called Bloodstone. So I think this car is from that game. There's a lot of assets that are from Bloodstone in here as well. So in a moment, he's going to drive up into a plane. That's the level I worked on. So that plane is a mixture of level dressing, pre-made assets, new assets, usually environment art in production. Rarely do you ever make a lot of the stuff. It's usually outsourced. You're responsible for the bigger picture and sort of putting everything together. Otherwise, games would take 10 years to make if you made every single prop. Hey, yeah, Blur. That's right, Psychoventus. Yeah.
Threat detection system activated.
Okay, we're coming up to it now. There we go. Yeah, so I was the level owner for the plane interior. So, lots of assets at Areva were already made from Bloodstone, some stuff I made myself. Like I made the texture for this wall here, which is a trim sheet. And back in these days, you would fake all the depth in the diffuse map. So you would take your ambient occlusion and set it to multiply. You'd set your curvature map. All the depth was done in the diffuse map, whereas nowadays albedo maps are not meant to. Well, albedo maps are not meant to have depth in and all that sort of jazz, right? So, obviously, the cars I didn't make; they're from Bloodstone.
Have to get to the control room.
We actually had a lighting artist on this. Yeah, lighting artist has been a role for a long time. It's still a niche role today. So imagine what it was like in 2011. So I think his name was Anthony. He was a cool chap. I believe, last I checked a few years ago, he is now a lighting artist on Battlefield. But yeah, he did the lighting for the level, which was pretty cool. Yeah, this level I was on this level for most of my time over the year, right? This level took like 6-7 months to get ready and get it all set up. No, don't die on the level. Have you seen First Light? Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I also saw, what was it, the Hitman partnership stuff they were doing as well, which was pretty good. You can kind of see the Call of Duty inspiration, right? I think the amount of times I heard we need to make it like Call of Duty, because Call of Duty in that time was the bomb, right? You know how like Marvel films, like if you're working on a Marvel film in 2011, it's whoa, you're working on a Call of Duty in 2011. Whereas nowadays it's like, who cares, right? It was a different thing back then. Like Call of Duty was the thing to be like. Whereas nowadays, Call of Duty, you got like Beavis and Butthead running around and dodgy stuff. I like the campaign for Call of Duty. It's not the latest one. The latest campaign wasn't even a campaign. That was awful. The actual proper campaigns with like soap and all that. I like those I like those bits of Call of Duty. The lighting artists back then must have been painful. Did the art team do passes to make sure their texture? Oh, Kafkin, not a shot. not a shot. No way. No, there was no measuring of anything. No texel density. Is the wild west of environment art. Was the bomb indeed? Yes, like I worked on the fan remake of Time Splitters Rewind. It's free. The fan remake of Time Splitters, is that different to? Because I remember there was like a professional Time Splitters team that was in the same building as the Dead Island people, and then they shut the studio. Is that the same as that, or is that different? Like, you should play this game. This got good shooting physics. It had multiplayer as well, which no one talks about. The multiplayer.
Take care of Graves. Can you?
This is my favorite bit. I did a lot of work in this bridge. You come in, you don't see anyone. There's no way someone could be hiding in here, right? You just see everything in plain sight.
Primary target coordinates confirmed. Commence countdown to automatic.
Where's he come from? Where's he come from? No chance he was hiding. Where was he hiding at the beginning of this
Primary
scene?
target.
Where was he hiding? If he's come from the right, he's not hiding behind this box, is he? He just walks up so nonchalantly. Ah. It's like, how did he know he was coming? He's like, oh, James Bond is coming. I'm gonna gonna hide behind the crate on the right. It just came out of nowhere.
Primary target coordinates confirmed. Commence countdown to automatic.
Boom. Emperor Palpatine electrocuted.
I'm going to teach you
Power.
a lesson you won't forget or survive.
Under Harry Potter's cloak. Snake move. Get ready. Boom. Ah, say every boss fight is the same. Boo. Oh man. This has some great dialogue. Listen to the dialogue in a bit. So cinematic.
You can't win, Bond. Even if you kill me, the Icarus will go into failsafe mode. There's nothing you can do to stop it.
Pew! Pew! How's he dodging electricity? How's he dodging electricity? It's not possible. Into another fight. Bro, I thought I was so slick. I was like, yeah, trim sheet on the ground, cut edge loops into the panels and push them down. Oh, I thought I was so slick. Who is the comrade on the back? Why is he fighting Robocop? What was this? What was Gustav Graves' whole thing? Was he just like a rich snob that he was trying to take over the world? I can't remember what his main. What was the beef? Like, what was he trying to do? The movie is crazy. Korean General calls her. Ah, yes, that's right. I completely forgot. Yeah. Damn. That's mental.
No! You fool! You stupid fool!
I love how he's not even looking where the punches are coming from. I'm too fast. Or whoever's playing it's too fast. Boom, boom, boom. All right. I want you guys to watch. I want you guys to watch the next 10 seconds. The next 10 seconds is some of the greatest stuff I've ever seen. I want you to watch the pounce. In a moment, this character is going to pounce at James Bond. But the pounce is amazing. All right, get ready. Get ready. He's locked in. He's locked in. I don't know how. I don't know how he doesn't go flying out the window with the pressure vacuum. Bro is defying gravity. That's my favorite bit. Ah! Ah, boom. Optimo style, yeah. It's just the logic. How's he standing next to that window not getting sucked out? It's just madness.
Oops. You see, Mr. Bond, you can't kill my dreams, but my dreams can kill you.
You can't kill my dreams, but my dreams will kill you. Gustav Graves, 2011. Let it be heard. Let it be heard. He's spitting. He's spitting poetry. Absolute poetry. Crazy Pumps floor panels. How dare you? Me jumping on the next project without finishing the... Nah. V. It's you when you get told to underscope your project. Ah!
Time to face destiny.
Time to face destiny.
Time to face gravity.
Time to face gravity. Now, somebody asked, is Daniel Craig voicing James Bond? I'll answer that with a sentence which will help you decide if Daniel Craig voiced James Bond. There's a section in this game where he meets a lady. Now, if you ever watched any James Bond films, you always know that the line is, the name's Bond, James Bond. That is a classical line in all of this, right? It's the go-to line of, the British gentleman that is undercover. The name's Bond, James Bond. In the game, when he meets this lady, she asks, what's your name? I have no idea if I'd be able to find it. But he responds, James Bond. Literally, James Bond. I'll try and find that after we look at this in some of Moonraker. It's so scuffed. This level you just run back and it's a level swap into a destroyed version, which is just props and VFX and all that sort of stuff. But yeah. You get in the vehicle, you shoot people, well, you shoot the helicopter and then you fly off.
Let's not jinx it.
Now, the other stuff I did is I did some prop work on Moonraker. Yeah, so you see these crates? I made these. I made all the cover. I also made the cargo door and the cargo locker. So I made all the cover, most of the cover for this scene. There's also a locker. He's going to turn around and see a locker. I made that as well. Let him turn around.
Checking in with the CIA.
Who are you? What do you want?
Bond from MI6.
How do I know this isn't a trick?
Bond from
My assignment was
MI6.
to find out if you were here. Enjoy your stay.
Oh, so I made these lockers as well. So I made the cover, the lockers, and I made some doors. That's my call to fame. That's definitely Daniel Craig because he said tight schedule. So I don't think they could afford Daniel Craig. And I made a cargo door, which is on my portfolio actually. But yeah, see this locker in the back. I made this. So this locker is essentially one texture, and then it's just modular texture and geometry cut together. Yeah, at some point you go through a cargo door. Oh yeah. So you're gonna come up to a cargo door in a minute. I love that door. I was proud of that door. I was like, "Man, this door slaps." Oh, it's open. It's on my portfolio, but this cargo door, I made that. My claim to fame. Yeah, and all these crates. Not those ones, but the, these quadded up, these sort of weird ones. Made those. But yeah, I'd say proud of it still. Like, every game is an experience. And it's technically not the first asset I ever made. Now, the first asset I ever made was a bench for PlayStation Home. I made it, first ever professional asset. It was for the Uncharted 3 PlayStation Home social space. I thought this bench is a banger. Made it, loved it. Didn't do proper collision for it. When it came out on the social space, everyone glitched into the air on it. Some of you are going to be too young to remember PlayStation Home. PlayStation Home was my first ever true job in the industry for about 11 months. Yeah, this is what we did. We did PlayStation Home Fortune Hunter. So the fun thing about PlayStation Home was you finished a project every 2 months. So you got to do a lot of stuff. There it is. My first ever asset. Look at it. I was like, oh, it's banging. 2011 bench. Super fast. Leah is torturing us. Oh no, Andy. What's she doing? I believe you. Visually for 2011, this was okay. There's a small industry of studios. Yeah. She wants to make 55 mushrooms. That's a nice bench. Here's the funny thing with the bench. People could glitch off it and fly up the map. So loads of people were flying around the map because of my bench. Yeah. Fun fact, all this level, all the assets in here, except for the bench, because obviously it's the best asset. You can tell it's the best asset because I made it. This is all Naughty Dog assets, which is funny because I released a video today. Well, Auto released a video. I filmed it a few days ago about Naughty Dog. But yeah, the art test I talk about on my channel today is in these days. It's prime time in these days. So all of this is Naughty Dog's assets. We had to take them, and obviously the engine Naughty Dog used was way stronger than the engine we used. The PlayStation Home engine was some sort of like PlayStation 2 engine, from what I remember being told. So we had to get the art working in the level. So a lot of the art is just repurposed for that, kind of like porting it, right, to a degree. I made the scoreboard as well. Told you, I'm really good at making boxes. As soon as it's a triangle or a sphere, I'm out. Don't want to know. Flying is fun, so you did good. Thank you, MV. Bro made a glitch. Coincidence? I think not. Yeah, I worked on the Tekken space, the Dead Island space, the Mercia space, which was our own thing. I worked on the Uncharted space. It was fun. Working on stuff every 2 months is quite fun, you know. And Uncharted ain't got nothing on this. What are you saying, Uncharted 3? I think it was Uncharted 3. Uncharted 3 was the desertish one, right? Did I remember PlayStation Home? The nostalgia. Yeah. Oh, wait. Oh. I did those as well, right? My first forte. You guys think I'm just an environment artist? Nah. I made the birds. Don't be playing. I ain't just an environment artist. I made the birds. That's right. That's right. Those birds was me. I made so many friends on PlayStation. Yeah. Mafia Old Country ain't got nothing on this. I'm trying to see something actually, if I can reply to you in a certain way, but I can't. Can't tell. It's been a while. creature artist. Bro missed the flying experience he gave to the player, so he decided to do birds. I mean, in a way, we are kind of like Mafia Slate because our sky is also just a texture that doesn't move. So yeah, it can be compared to it. You had to shoot in GTA 4. You made pigeons? Alpha mapped pigeons. That's right. I made alpha texture pigeons. Yep. We also did Mercy. I think Mercy was probably the biggest thing we really did. This is a trailer for it. Yeah, look, they're still around today, you know, which is crazy. They're doing like I think they call it some sort of Second Light stuff. Avakin, I think they're doing. But yeah, these guys are still around. In Nottingham.
In a universe unknown.
This was our own thing, so this was we didn't. So most of the PlayStation Home stuff was contracts for other studios. Obviously, Uncharted, make that work on PS Home. Dead Island, make that work on PS Home. Capcom, you know, make their spaces work at PS Home. This thing was our own thing, so this is all as.
Tormented by unsettled.
So we did a lot of the art, pretty much all the art for this, right?
A broken world is in need of heroes.
It's in need of heroes, that's right.
Over eons, my power has weakened.
That's right, eons.
But with my last strength, a gateway is unlocked. As mystery and adventure unfold.
San Andreas 2. Mercia.
Ready yourself.
That's all good and well, yeah, there we go. Oh. Dark Souls? Nah. Nothing on this. Uncharted 2? Nothing. Yeah, these are my origins. I don't even know if you were born when I worked on this slate. This was 2011. 22, 15 years ago. Look at that. Look at that. Waterfall door. Come on. Come on, bro. Makes you want to bring back PlayStation Home. Come on. I was 13, I could have played it. I don't remember where my room was. Oh, yes. Look at that. Is this Legend of Zelda? It's better. Better slate. Where's my room? I know we shared a lot of textures, but there's a certain room that was specifically. I'll catch up on the chat in a moment. The hell is This is my room. Obviously, we shared a lot of textures and stuff, but this was one of my rooms. Oh, step into the Stargate. Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Oh, like that, it's gone. Let's catch up on some chats. Yeah, good times, man. Good times. Always good to look back. Room. Do you think it's still possible to get into the games industry now that the expectation for games are? I would say so. Like a lot of AA and indie stuff is popping up now more than ever, right? I mean, we were talking to a mutual friend of some folks in the chat, right? Leah, and we're looking like all these game dev studios in her country that making really good looking games and studios we'd never heard of, you know? So there's lots of studios out there within this AA range, nice, small, sort of 50 to 150 people studios that are making really good stuff. You just got to be able to find them, and then the rest is preparation meets. What's that saying? Preparation meets pudding. Pudding. Legend of EMC. Old AF. That's what I am, AB. Welcome, by the way. Yeah, I'll give you guys next week on next stream. I'll give you guys the 2015's PlayStation Sony stuff when I used to work there. Leah just got a job at DICE. Really? Nice. What do you think of a game about abandoned London and dinosaurs? Evolve. How have you come to this conclusion? How have you come to this design? Why London and why dinosaurs? I'm curious. What's your thinking? Teach me. Let me know where you're coming from with that. Are the dinosaurs, do they have London accents? You know, like raw. You know, do they roar in a London accent? Definitely has potential. I like it. But yeah, that would be an L0, right? And we make the level scene lighting L0. Okay, and then for L1, we actually start shaping some light. So we would start to utilize the point lights as bounce, because we showed that demonstration earlier that GPU light mask can't bounce light very well versus CPU light mask. So we would make rect lights for these, and we'd get all our light sources, and then we'd use the point lights. We'd make a new level, so we don't touch scene L1, L0. We make another level, scene lighting L1. And then we've shaped the light. We still haven't introduced color, but we've shaped the light and we've shaped some value. And then we just use L1 to sort of really go to town on it. So you can think of this as your block out lighting for level design, just to be able to see, environment art to be able to see. Obviously, we had previously set up, because we're carrying on from the first video, right? We had previously set up physically based exposure. I think we're using like EV5 or 6. So we've already set the bounds of the interior to be within a realistic dimension. And then we took down the toe, because the toe brings a lot of darkness in once you start doing moody lighting, and then we'll reintroduce the contrast in an L2 and stuff like that. Leah, she bossed the CEO. True. Someone say London is already full of dinosaurs. Ayo. You're definitely a dinosaur, T. What dinosaur would you be, T? Oh, I must check the Discord because we had a lot of fun talking about stuff. I forgot that we got to check on some Patreon work. Oh, it looks like it's just Lyra today. That's cool. Not every week is going to be a super active week. So, reminder, we have, one of the many benefits for joining the Patreon is the guest talks. The videos have a 1-year exclusivity, so there's lots of unique stuff on there. And of course, you get the feedback on the streams. If I don't stream, I'll send you a video for some feedback. And of course, the Discord. So I did changes based on your feedback last time. We discussed a lot about this relight Lyra had done. We'd like to know if it's better now. So last time on the last stream, which was a week and a half ago, I think, or 2 weeks ago, we talked about values, adding interest to camera angles, and all that sort of stuff with making your camera shots purposeful. So let's have a look. You're lucky I'm done with my event. You'd have to say, I don't mind. It's all good. It's pretty cool to see people all posting their projects. Like we've had a lot of people. John, he posted his project after months of working on it, months and months. Astro posted his project. Leah and V posted, multiple projects. There's all sorts getting posted up there, from folks in the community. I'd say Velociraptor, but let's be honest. I'd probably be a Diplodocus, wouldn't I? I don't remember which one's Diplodocus. Hold on. Let me educate myself. Oh, like the long neck things. I know what dinosaur you'd be, T. I know what dinosaur you'd be. Oh, let me find it. You can't see my mouse, but you know which one. It's the one with wings. Top right. That's you, bro. That's what type of dinosaur you are. I feel as though this one in the top left is Leah. And this one in the bottom right is definitely Slate. It's got that like sort of devious grin. Like, hoo-hoo, I'm going to annoy people and call them weirdos. What a show or movie. Land Before Time. Oh, banger. Right, Lyra, I can't remember what it looked like last time. That's why before and afters are good. I vaguely remember. Oh. Well, eat my words. Oh, yeah. Damn. I got jebaited. Damn. You got me. All right. You smart. Okay. All right. Let's have a look then. Okay. Yeah. Much better. Like, the after shot is no more Kermit. No more Kermit, huh? Why not? Hey there. The before and after is really good, Lyra. You can see that you've done the. What's that? Is that freaking Texan Kermit? You can see that. Or yeah, the before and after is really good. You've really done some improvements. Damn it, T. It's a professional stream. But no, seriously, your cameras here, they're much more composed now. Whereas these shots on the left kind of were just like you had a camera just to see for progress shots, work in progress. This shot is much better. You've got signs of framing element. You're leading down to this area on the left. It's lining up on the rule of thirds. So is there more stuff you could do with this? Probably, yeah, from a camera point of view, but it's much better. It's much more in line with what I was what I was thinking. Or it could just be the lighting as well, right? So yeah, it feels, I think I remember those being quite dark. It's much better. Yeah. Yeah, your cameras have gotten much better. This is a good example of fog, right? It's quite common to put fog everywhere, and that can work for specific scenes. But if you put fog everywhere all the time, it kind of makes you lose contrast, right? It flattens out the value. So the fact that you pushed this fog back and made it subtle is really good. The key to having good fog in a lot of the scenes is to be subtle with it and to set the distance off, which you've done. I did a subtle directional light. Cool. That's good, yeah, because I know you had pure overcast before. There's always a bit of directional light going on. I can't remember if this was open before. I remember I gave you feedback on one of the shots where you were looking at a door like this and it wasn't open, and it kind of was like we were just looking at the train. So this is a good sign. I think this could be pushed more, like really light it, like put a light up in here and have the light cast a shadow onto the ground, be a bit dramatic with it. But no, overall, this is much better. These three lights, I'd probably delete the middle one. It feels a bit odd that those three are so close together. And we wouldn't really do that in a real-time scenario unless we turned one off, because that's three overlapping lights instantly. So we tend to space out light fixtures for optimization. No, much better already, yeah. I think you could self-reflect by taking your after images, putting them next to these Last of Us images of anything that's like on the street level, and blur them, desaturate them, and do a comparison of the histograms and the contrast and see where you're off and where they are. And that's going to help you not tunnel vision on stuff when you take the images and you blur them and just see the pure values. And you'll see how far off or how close you are with stuff. You can definitely tell there's more value in here in the shadows, right? So yeah, before side-by-side images, histogram will be key. You can also run a cutout filter. A cutout filter is what I put on my most recent breakdown for the lighting stuff I did. Cutout filter will simplify the image into values. Yeah, much better. Big improvement. Let's see, did you ask anything else specifically? What else you can do? So compare to the images, compare with desaturation, compare with Gaussian blur, really iron in on it. I mean, you can also turn your own screen black and white with a hotkey, with the Windows filter. But taking this into like Photoshop and just really side-by-siding them and breaking down what's what is going to be key. I can already tell, like, if I were to take yours and theirs and blur them or cut out filter, their skies are a lot brighter than your skies, so there's more of a value structure in there because of that. So, but yeah, this is a much better step in the right direction. So good stuff overall. Yeah, compare, be more dramatic when you have light sources coming from interiors, and really think of your value structure on your screenshots, which they have here. Everything's darker towards and then lighter in the background. Same with the reference you've got here in these two shots on the right. Yeah, much better. Good stuff. Keep improving, which you are. I think, well, Lyra's, I think is kind of still new to lighting. We sort of met on Snappy Gurus, and you were starting your lighting venture there a few months ago. So still very early days, and you've already got quite a lot of progression. So yeah, one to watch for sure. Good stuff. Very nice, very nice. Oh man, oof, I'm tired. Yeah, some fun stuff today. Some good chats going on, and it's fun to look at some old work and chat with folks. See, a lot of people in the chat are also cooking up projects, which is cool. So yeah, L0, L1, is where we will do a bit more shaping of light and value. So we can get very, very quickly started. Fun tip, which embarrassingly I only learnt like a few months ago. You can just convert an existing light to something else. I was like, what? It's funny, sometimes you find things like, oh, I never knew that. It's like but you work with the engine for so much. There's always these little hidden things overlooked sometimes. Ugh. Yeah, almost Friday, folks. Almost Friday. And freedom. Freedom. They're still selling, they're still selling Easter eggs at my local shop. I don't know if anyone else is from the UK here, but Easter eggs have not been they've not been that popular this year. Usually they get sold out proper, but I think with the whole Hershey thing and the cocoa, was it cocoa butter, palm oil, and the price as well is not gone too well. I'm waiting for them to drop low enough, and then I'll just be like, oh, nom, 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 nom. I wish they'd had functionality so we could reference actors in each light. To say we don't want this light to be shadowed by these specific instances. Oh, kind of like a more agile version of lighting channels, you mean? Oh, you can do that. It's just that's what we did at a previous studio that was very, very physically based. You just need to. It's a tough sell because you need to be on the team early enough to. If I understand what you're saying, you put this right inside. Yeah, like you need to be early enough in the process to be able to have all your glass and light props actually be built with a bulb and a separate layer with doesn't have shadow casting enabled. Obviously, with this, I just can't be bothered to grab this mesh and edit it. It's got no inside, right? But you would. There are studios that make proper light props that you can do that with. Now, there are studios out there that they have like 6, 7 bulbs that are linked to lights, and then all their lights have glass covers which don't cast shadows, and their light props are made in very specific ways. Some really good stuff out there when you have the right lighting people on there. But it's not very common. But yeah, if you're on the other branch of Unreal, I think it's the RTX branch, you can do path tracing, which will actually give you proper I forgot the term. Proper glass refraction? No, proper glass reaction with the colors and stuff. I do want to do something path traced at some point. Real time path trace. I don't want to use where you sit and wait for it to denoise. I believe there's some real time path tracing on the other branch of Unreal. What I like about Baked, like you can't use ret lights with Lumen. So just getting to use them is like, oh, so good. I guess you could probably use them with Megalights, but I haven't looked into any Megalight stuff. Still very new. Do you remember I tried to get away with using a ret light on on Until Dawn? There was the early ret light in the game with like a high attenuation, and it was coming through a window, and I was like, "Oh, this no one's gonna get me." It's a dynamic ret light. Yeah, I'm good. And I got found out in Unreal Insights. What the fuck is this? So yeah, I don't really use them unless I'm baking, but they are great. Love rec lights. Yeah, that's what I mean by shaping. This would be an L1 light that we would eventually color up as well. And we would add those under the relevant areas. Like I say, if you add them in a blueprint, it becomes a lot easier. That's why we made that blueprint portfolio piece where we can just drop these blueprints around. And it'll have the light inside proper. I want to use red lights. Should have really hotkeyed that. Set up some proper hotkeys from real. That's the thing. If you use Blueprint right, you do all the work. You put that rec light in the light. You never need to do it again. Every time you place that light, it's like a proper light source. Performance was awful, but look, yeah. Rec lights are a good one. Quite good about red lights as well. You can put a texture on them, which will kind of break up the light accordingly, which can be pretty good for some things that have a specific shape to them. Dynamic red lights and attenuation were a huge perf killer in the early days of Callisto Protocol. Oh yeah, I can imagine. I forget the hierarchy, but I believe your point lights are okay if you can keep them small and stuff like that. But a big point light, that's the equivalent of 6 spotlights. And I always forget the red light, but I think the red light is worse because the red light is a point light with hot, and then it's kind of masked off because you got the round attenuation, so it's actually even just as expensive, right? So, but yeah, not having to use spotlights is a dream when you have actual square lights. Well, I like the baked workflow, and maybe the megalights workflow, but I haven't used megalights, so. Exactly, T. You can put light fixture textures in it as well for it to react. Yeah, Callisto is always got the infamous, in a good way, infamous technical breakdown and film stock lens investigation. Good stuff, man. That would have been cool to light. Yeah, that's how I got found out on Until Dawn. Our graphics programmer was like, I think it was either Unreal Insights or something else. Is like, there's this huge cube map file format coming from this light. I was like, so I got rid of the red light and just turned it into a big spotlight. And then I was sad. I was sad. Ugh. Yeah, and you can tell instantly when a light, when you see that cube map come up in like the column, and it's a light. It's like, okay, got your ass in 4K. See, point lights are not as bad. You can get away with point lights if you use them very, very carefully. Ugh. Dynamic point light, but I say very carefully. But yeah, most of your heavy lifting spotlights. Why are there any other lights? We got a rect light, point light, spotlight. Where are some crazy lights? Where's the triangle light? You know? Now, where's the sword off spotlight, huh? You know, where's all the other light types? Sword off spotlight would be the goal, man. That would be the goal. The number one issue with most games, because the limitation of us having to use spotlights is, you have a spotlight, right? You see this in all types of games. It's always painful to look at, but I also understand it because you literally can't do much else without introducing more overhead, right? So you have like a. I don't think I have fog in this scene. Okay. So you have a square light, and then you see a cone coming out, and then you see the cone go up into a single point. But wouldn't the dream be to have a spotlight with a function that cuts off the top of the cone so that it ends in not a single point, but like a tube? And then you solve a lot of issues. But obviously, I'm talking out my ass because if it was that easy to do, someone would have done it. But yeah, spotlights ending in a single point and seeing the fog on a square light is painful stuff. You know what else is cool that some places have as well, right? So you guys will know the age-old issue of spotlights, point lights, is that the attenuation comes out the other end. So whenever you get this, even with shadow casting, you can get issues with this, right? But a lot of the time, you get issues with the attenuation of the point light coming out the back. But there are also workflows where lights have options, and that option will basically connect to a light with like a shape, and that shape will basically disable the rendering of any light attenuation behind it. So you can have something like that, and then you can have a non-shadow casting light which doesn't bleed through the other side of the wall because of a culling plane. So there's lots of wizardry out there, but you usually find this type of wizardry at studios that have their own engine that's built for lighting. So we had that for Black Ops Hey, nice, Capkin. Use physical balls for light sources. Yeah, good stuff, man. What studio were you at for the Call of Duty? I'm not too familiar with. I know it goes around all the different studios. Which one did the one you were at for Black Ops 3? I'm getting hungry. It is almost time to end up as well, actually. Cool. Treyarch. Yeah, cool. Always mix them up. I remember speaking to Scott Warren about a lot of lighting on those types of games, and I think he was at Raven, I believe, when we were discussing that on the channel. Ugh. Yes, sad face. There's a story there. There is a. Ugh. There we go. I'll say this is an example of shaping, right? So L1, we will shape all the lights and give them appropriate bounce, which with GPU light mass is going to be 1 or 2 fake lights. But this way, you're always building on. So, like, if you go into L1 straight away and you're taking your time adding all these rec lights, level designs in the build, and they're like, I can't see shit. I'm gonna add my own lights, and then you have a bunch of lights in the level that you didn't put in, and then it can get messy. So you should always try and have a lighting artist on a level from its grey box phase up until shipping. The earlier, the better, for all types of reasons. Right, let's. I'm gonna focus on the chat for a bit. We can start finishing up. Let's have a chat, some folks. God used to be 3 engine branches. Sad I can't use GPU light mass. You're not missing much, Duke. CPU honestly has some better features than GPU. You just lose the speed, so you're not missing out. Don't worry. Greetings, Senhor. So, Kafkin, what are you doing nowadays? I mean, what sort of stuff are you working on? I haven't seen you on the stream before. Welcome, or maybe you've been on and missed the message. But you, from what you're typing, you seem to be in the world of lighting, which is awesome. And then we'll, yep. Let's plug this in. Yeah, welcome to the stream, Sen. Hope all is well. I lurk. Not anymore. You guys doing anything on the weekend? Anything interesting or just chilling? I'm certainly going to be chilling for the most part. Also, I set up my, you guys know I bought a light at Christmas. I finally set it up. So I haven't got the controls for it yet, so it's just pure white light. But up above me is the Elgato key light. So I haven't shaped it or done any tech Kelvin on it, but it's pretty nice. Yeah, I definitely like it. Used to be a lighter. Last project I worked on was Resistance for the Vita. For the Vita, wow. I remember the Vita. Yeah. Now I do tech art at Riot. Nice. Captain, you're lucky Leah is not here today. Leah is one of our regulars, but she's super locked in on the Beyond Extent challenge. She saw you with tech art, she would be like, "Oh my god," because she wants to be a tech artist, and she's on the procedural PCG and Houdini side. Started learning it a year ago, so yeah, good stuff. Tech art wizard, you tech artists and you graphics programmers, wizards, you're amazing. Yeah, I'll definitely be getting some food in a bit as well. Yeah, this guy is amazing. So I'll be following some of his stuff just because I never did the remesh or Dynamesh workflow. I always did sub-D, which is the longer method and the less flexible method. So I'm very much looking forward to making a hand plane using remesher for this year as a challenge, since I do lighting mostly nowadays. Admire tech artists a lot. Generally, bring a bridge. Yeah. Tech artists are great. I haven't played World of Warcraft in a long time. I don't think I could ever get back into it. It's just too deep. I used to play back in the day when they would have like private servers of classic, but now they have a whole proper classic thing. That version I could imagine playing again, but these newer ones, I just feel too much out of the loop by 15 years. Hey, speak of Call of Duty. I wasn't really a fan of the latest COD. I think it didn't have a campaign, which is what I usually play them for. But also, when I played the arcade campaign, you couldn't shoot out any of the lights, and all the lights were like really bright because it's multiplayer arcade campaign. So I was like, ugh, I'm a bit bored. Also, is this show any good? I've been recommended it. Peaky Blinders. It's quite a long show though, so if I invest, it's going to be a lot to watch. Oof. Ooh, what's this? Nice. Latest COD was some brain rot. It's coming from you as well, Slate. That's something. Awesome, nice. Is that the reference? Nice material. What is that? What is that? God, that would be fun to make. Aight. We got him, boys. Oh, what's this? What's just is he still here? What's just appeared as I scroll down, huh? Look at that popping out with the juicy contrast. Damn. He's on the main page. He's on the main page. Look at him. The Astro. The legend. Look at that. Look at that. What a legend. Astro Dog. Yeah. All right, guys. This was super fun today. Quite a lot of people came by. Good to see regulars. Good to see some new people. I think we had quite a laugh today, and we did some good stuff that we'll do proper in the Patreon video for the baked lighting. But yeah, we'll stream next week. We can look at some more stuff, and then we'll. I say the goal is to start getting back into Blender a little bit as well, using the remesh workflow. So I think we might start blocking out our hand plane. Nothing too complicated, but ease ourselves in with a prop. But yeah. Thanks for popping by, folks. Good night, Dukes. Good to see you. I'll plug one last time because, I'm a shill. But yeah, I'll see you guys on the Discord or on the stream. Latest video dropped today about art tests at Naughty Dog. Check that out. But yeah,